Hi, sixth grade. We're doing things a little bit differently in the sedimentary rocks section. So I wanted to start off just with a brief introduction about sedimentary rocks. We had talked when we were doing just intro to rocks that a lot of you think that geologists go around and look at those tiny little samples of rocks. But in reality, what they're actually doing is they're looking at huge rock formations, like the one that you see here on the screen. This huge cliff, you can see how tiny the people are. And with sedimentary rocks, there are some features that really stand out and are very, very common in a lot of the sedimentary rock types. So as we're going through, just kind of look for two main things that we're going to see a lot in rocks. So this is just one big cliff that I thought was pretty cool that I wanted to show you. The other one, this is called the wave. And so you can kind of see it just looks really neat. And the next one here, this is another picture of a sedimentary rock. And then I wanted to kind of go into some of the sedimentary rocks that are in Ohio. What's really cool, a lot of times we think sedimentary rocks don't look the coolest, and unfortunately that is what majority of Ohio is made up of, that we're seeing is sedimentary rock. A lot of the igneous and metamorphic rock, they are buried really, really deep in the layers of the crust that are exposed in Ohio. So we kind of got the boring rocks, but I wanted to kind of show you some examples of where we're seeing the different sedimentary formations in Ohio, just in case you get to travel around the state some. So this one is limestone, and this is pretty much basic. We see this around our lakes a lot of times, especially by Lake Erie. You'll see cliffs that look like this, and so there's that limestone. And already you should be starting to see some things that definitely pop out in sedimentary rocks. If we kind of look back through at the limestone, the wave, and at this cliff here, you should be seeing, we're definitely seeing layers. And that's a very, very important thing about sedimentary rock. Some of our rocks, we're definitely going to see that pattern of banded. So make sure you're paying attention to that. And here, what can you tell me about this that you're seeing with this limestone? Should be saying you're seeing fossils. So those are actually fossils of some mollusk shells there. So this limestone, it's not as evident that it's banded, but you can definitely kind of see here that there are sections, and that's where we're looking at the layers. Another type of rock that we are seeing in Ohio is shale, and this is actually a picture out of Northeast Ohio. And again, definitely seeing that the shale is forming in those layers. And unfortunately, it's kind of that boring dark gray color. This is called Ash Cave in Hocking Hills. This is a different type of sandstone, not as fun as the first two pictures that we saw. Those tend to be out west where we see those really bright orange colors. Again, we have the really boring kind of creamy color of sandstone. So this is in Hocking Hills, which is in kind of like south east Ohio-ish, down by, if anybody knows anybody who went to Ohio University, that's kind of where Hocking Hills is. So this is called black hand sandstone, and again, you should be noticing that you can definitely see these layers here. So our sedimentary rock is forming in layers. And you can see down here, this is actually the sand, and the sand is a very similar color to the actual rock formation. And then, and I think my webcam's actually going to be covering this up a little bit, so I'm going to don't know where I just shifted myself to, but I shifted myself somewhere off the page. But coal is a sedimentary rock that we have in Ohio, and it's really more so along the east. And what we're seeing that, why that's popping up is because we are in the foothills of the Appalachian Mountains on the east side of Ohio. So we are getting a lot of coal production over there. Okay, so I found my webcam. I'm kind of jumping all over the place here. Sorry about that. But you can see right along here is the east side of the state, and all those darker counties, that's where we all have coal production happening. And then This is actually considered a gemstone, go figure. We have a really boring gemstone in Ohio too. Flint. And a lot of people like to go out and collect arrowheads, and the arrowheads are made out of this sedimentary rock called flint. And right here, this is a little quarry that they call it. It's in Flint Ridge, and this is also in Northeast Ohio. And then here's some pictures of the arrowheads that have been found in Flint Ridge. So the Native Americans, what they did is they would find this flint, and it looks like this, and then it's really easily shaped into these little arrowheads that they would use on their weapons and tools. Okay, so that was just kind of an overview and an intro to some larger rock formations, just so that you keep in mind when we're talking about rocks, we unfortunately get stuck with the tiny little samples. But in real life, those geologists are studying those huge rock formations. And I also wanted to kind of do an overview so that you could hear the names of the sedimentary rocks that you're going to be dealing with. The first one is limestone. And these next two words are kind of a mouthful, but it's going to be fossiliferous limestone and lithographic limestone. So if we look back here at our pictures, this is going to be lithographic limestone. You're not really going to see many fossils in it, but this one here, where we see the fossils, that's why we call it fossiliferous limestone. And so a lot of you actually probably have found quite a few fossils if you're out in fields looking around. We probably won't see many clam-like looking shells as fossils, but you will see a lot of like spirally looking things, and I'll have some examples of fossiliferous limestone that I have actually found in my parents' backyard. So going back to our list, that was limestone. Again, fossiliferous, lithographic. We have sandstone, shale, conglomerate, breccia, coal, and coquina. And we're also going to add on here that we're going to have siltstone. There, siltstone. Okay. So these are kind of going to be the things that we're looking at. Make sure that you are saying all of the rock names correctly, especially breccia, fossiliferous. Practice saying those, coquina. The things that we're going to be looking for and some patterns that you should definitely be seeing with your sedimentary rocks. You're going to be seeing layers and you're going to be seeing fossils. So with that, you can go ahead and you can move on to your next step on your to-do list.